What's up, guys? Dave the Candle Dude back again with another video coming to you from my music Nirvana. Speaking of Nirvana, come on now. Limited edition Nevermind box set right here. Peep this. There's the baby. There's Kurt. Rip. Chris, Dave, and Dave. I'm doing a new feature here on the Candle Dude, and it's off-the-shelf candles. So that's pretty much what it sounds like. I think we'll call it the off-the-shelf challenge. Off-the-shelf candle challenge, where I walk into a store, pick out a candle, buy it, and test it out. Because I was buying some candles yesterday. I'm on a major candle buying binge right now. Making these videos, it's gotten me really back into this mode. Bought a couple of candles online yesterday, which I'll be reviewing for you guys. But by the time you buy one online, it's $15, $20. And you buy it without smelling it. You can read the reviews, but the reviews don't really tell you what it smells like. It's really hard to describe the smell of a candle in words. It's almost impossible. You can't do it unless it smells like something. And it smells exactly like something. Like one of the ones like that is my 2x4 candle, where it smells exactly like a carpenter's wood shop. Then you can do it. But these ones with these subtle notes of things in them, it's hard. So you're flying blind when you buy candles online. Whereas if you go in the store, you can sample every one there. So I was in Walmart today. I wasn't actually there to buy a candle, but when I got in there, I said, you know what? Let me go check out these candles. So what I did, I went to the candle section. They had a Better Homes and Gardens section. Most of these candles were very weak. The smells were not strong. But there was this one, Warm Rustic Woods. This candle is so strong. It's one of those ones you can smell it before you light it. And the best way I can describe it, again, trying to describe it in words, not easy. A fresh, clean smell, almost a soapy type smell, but then it reminds me of cologne too. How would you describe cologne? Kind of like a warm, perfumey type smell, but not perfume. That brings to mind women's perfume. But it's just a real, I'm going to use a word here, musky. You can define that however you want. Anyway, it's a great smell, and it says rustic woods, and that's kind of what it smells like. It's also got like that woodsy type of smell to it. This is an awesome smell. So good that I bought this candle. Now, I'm going to show you something. Look at this jar. You see how it's tapered outward? It's almost impossible for a candle like that to burn properly. This is a 5-inch tall candle. Just trust me on that. Pretty standard height for a jar candle. But because it's tapered outwards, it definitely needs 2 wicks, maybe even 3, to burn properly. And there's another, before I get into that, it's 5 inches tall. It's 4.5 inches across here. In the I guess this is a radius when you go all the way across the top. 4.5 inches, 14 inches around. That's a really big opening at the top of the candle. Now, here's another thing. See this little cover here, this cardboard cover? It just comes out. There's no cap. There's no lid for this candle. I actually have a lid, which I think is going to fit from another candle. As I take that lid off, the smell just hit me. Very, very strong, which is a huge thing for dude candles. You like a strong smell. We like a strong smell. By the way, check out this table. Guitar table made by my daughter, Sarah. What's up, Sarah? Now, you see how these wicks are flattened? They're flattened because this cardboard cover was just placed loosely on there. So what I'm going to do is take this. This is just a bamboo skewer from the supermarket. I won't give you a link to this because you can find a bamboo skewer at pretty much any supermarket. So let's just lift this up and hopefully it'll stay. And we'll lift this one up. Hopefully that one will stay. Okay. Now, I am not going to trim these. I need the flame as hot as possible. So I am not going to trim this. I'm going to try to burn it. I have a prediction to make. And my prediction to you is that there's going to be a puddle here and a puddle here, and it is not going to burn around the edges. That's what you want for any candle. You want the entire surface of the candle to be liquid, an even burn all the way across the surface. That's what you want in any candle, no matter what it is, no matter how big it is, no matter what kind of candle it is. If it's a jar candle, you want it to burn all the way across. I can almost guarantee you it's not going to happen, but we're going to give it a test right now. You guys ready? Here we go. And we're off. Now, I will tell you, the only way to burn the edges of the wax on a candle like this, any candle really, is if the flames are high enough and hot enough, or if there's heat return. I was talking about that in a previous video, where you have some type of a lid or dome over your candle where some of the heat gets sent back down into the candle and melts the edges. We obviously don't have any heat return. Look how close to the top of the candle it is. Less than half an inch. None of the heat from these wicks is coming back. It's all going up into the air. The only way to melt the edges is going to be from these two wicks right here. And I can almost guarantee you they won't be hot enough to do it. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to stop this video and come back. Look, we already have some little puddling here. Starting off pretty good. But we'll wait and see. Candle has reset now. It's been about a half an hour. So, if you look at this, a couple of things that you see. First of all, you can see the outline here, this oval shape. That's your burn boundary. That's as much wax that's going to be burned by these two wicks the way they are right now. That's as far out as they can possibly burn. That's the limit. And also another thing, you look right here, you see how it's clumpy at the end? Mushrooming. This side's got mushrooming too, but it's a little bit smaller. It's from burning it too long and probably from the wick being too long, but I'm keeping them long because I want the flame as hot as possible, and that only happens when it's a longer wick. So that's as far as it's going this way. And I was thinking about what I can do. There's a couple of options that I have. I can't keep burning it this way because it's going to make this gigantic tunnel in the shape of this burn boundary. It'll burn all the way down in, and pretty soon this candle will be unusable. So there's a trick that I do where I start these two wicks burning, let this pool fill up, and then I use my heater, my space heater, to heat the sides. Collect up the wax and draw it off with a syringe. I'm not going to do that because that's just a little bit sloppier and it's a waste of wax. I do that when I have to. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt this down using the candle warmer. I'm going to add a third wick. And if I add a third wick in a triangle pattern, I think it'll burn all the way around. I actually think it'll work. I'm going to try it anyway. The only problem is sometimes even with multiple wicks, you need an aluminum lid, which I showed in another video, or a collar, which is basically just an aluminum foil sheet with a hole in the middle. Sometimes you need that, but I can't really do that here because look how close these wicks are to the top of the jar. They're right there. If I try to put anything over the aluminum could catch on fire. It's happened to me. So I can't really put any type of cover over this thing right now. So I got to hope that the third wick does it. What I'm going to do now, and I'm actually going to go off video to do this because it's very, very tricky. I'm going to try to trim off these mushrooms here. And I'm going to do it with a pair of scissors. I can't really use the toenail clippers because you just can't get as much precision. So I'm going to try to do it with these scissors. It's really hard. When they're brittle this way, they break super easy. So I'm going to try to trim it very gently so I don't lose a lot of the wick. I don't want to lose any of the wick here. That's just going to complicate things more. So here we go. We're going to push down. This almost qualifies as one of those satisfying videos, doesn't it? Pushing it down. Oops. Push it gently. I like to get it in one solid ring. I feel like it melts better that way. Keep going, pushing down, far down as you can possibly get it. Why? Because it's warmer near the bottom. Closest to the heat element is where it's warmest, naturally. So we're going to push that down, and you're going to see that's going to melt very, very quickly. So once that's done, I'm going to take my lovely washer. I am just a candle MacGyver, you guys. 2.5 inch washer right here. And if you look at this other candle here, it's in my trash can now. But if you look at it, see how it fits in the bottom with a little room around it? So I wanted one that fit as close as possible to the diameter at the bottom of the jar. It's as close as I could get. So what I'm going to do is take the 2 wicks that are in there already and take another one, and I'm going to put them in a triangle pattern on this washer using wick stickers. Spread them out as much as I possibly can. Drop them back in the wax. Reset the candle. Try this again. Guys, not bragging at all, but boom, full melt. Look at this. Liquid from coast to coast. All liquid. Full melt. 3 wicks, placed well. Liquid all the way across, even burn. All the stuff on the sides melting down, clean sides, getting very clean. And if you look, this is another thing you can look for. See right here, it's like darker, and then it gets lighter. This is where the melt stops. About 1/4 inch here, maybe a little more. You don't want to leave it, you don't want to burn too much more than that. But that's okay. It's all the way around. Look at this. You can see it well here. There's your liquid all the way down here. A little bit of leftover crap here from when I was working on the candle before, but I think I'm going to blow this out pretty soon. Clear up some of these mushrooms. The mushrooms are actually getting pretty bad, and it's actually kind of a thing because when I trim these down, the wicks are going to be pretty short, so I'm going to have to deal with that. But this is the most difficult jar to work with. It's a tapered jar, 4.5 inches in diameter across the top. 3 wicks placed correctly will burn, 2 will not. So it's part of what I want to talk about with these candle reviews. Is when you buy these big jars, they can't burn, they can't get you a full burn. 2 wicks in a jar like this will never burn fully. It won't work. You have to add that 3rd one. It's just something that they do.